Okay, so today I'm going to be going over the World Juniors Day 2 presented by IIHF. So today Sweden played Switzerland, Canada played Latvia, and Germany is playing Austria currently. It is the second period and Germany's up 4-2. I expect Germany to pull out the win, but we'll see. But before I get into this video, I just want to say sorry about the microphone. You might hear a little bit of like wind type of noise or some static noises in the back. I have a new microphone coming in soon in a couple of days, but for now you're just gonna have to deal with it, I guess. So let's get right into this. So we're gonna be talking about the first game that took place, and that was Sweden versus Switzerland. So some top prospects from the Sweden World Juniors team is Simona Edvinsson, Isaac Rosen, Jonathan Lekkerimäki, Theodor Niederbach, and Jesper Wallstedt. All first round picks or projected first round picks. Jesper Wallstedt took the nets tonight and had a pretty good game. But yeah, now we're going to go over the Switzerland roster and some of their top prospects before I get into the score and what happened in this game. So I'm not going to lie to you, Switzerland has a pretty weak team this year, with their best prospect slash player probably being Simone Nack, who was their captain and actually had a pretty decent game. But the goaltender for Switzerland was Noah Patinadu, or I'm definitely botching that, but he played pretty good, but wasn't the best. So in the first period of this game, there wasn't much action, with Sweden taking 3 penalties, and that was the only stats from this period, which is a little bit rough, but I'm surprised Switzerland didn't take any advantage with that and run with it. But in the second period, Daniel Torgerson, he scored a goal off an assist by Simone Edvinsson and Helgi Grans. I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm gonna be botching many names, but that you're just gonna have to deal with that. And Sweden took another penalty in the second period, which means that Switzerland had 4 power plays that they didn't convert on in just the first and second period alone, which is a little bit not looking good for Team Switzerland. But in the third period, Theodor Niederbach took a 20-minute penalty for Sweden, which doesn't actually go up. He had a 5-minute penalty, but that is a game misconduct for Theodor Niederbach, and that is a little bit rough and shows that he is definitely not professional ready and that he still has a lot to learn about taking penalties. But moving on, Sweden scored their second and third unanswered goals in the third period, so they were up 3-0. But then Switzerland took their first penalty of the game, and that somehow gave them motivation, and they scored one. Bieska Attilio. I'm just not even going to say their names at this point, but then Switzerland scored one to make the score 3-1, scored again to make it 3-2, and that was it for the game. That's when, right after that 3-2 goal, that's when Niederbach took the 5-minute game misconduct penalty and was kicked out. So a final score of 3-2. That was a really tight game when I really think that should have been dominated by Sweden. But the amount of penalties they took, you can tell why that was closer than it really should have been. I just want to say I'm watching the Germany versus Austria game right now, and one of the Austrian players just took a knee-to-knee contact on number 19 on Germany, and he really messed up number 19 on Germany. That looks bad, and medics are coming to the scene. That was not a good hit. Really shouldn't have made that, but it looks like 19 is struggling right now, and we're going to see what happens. That could be it for his tournament. Not sure what player that is, but I'm I'm going to get on to the Germany versus Austria game later in the video. Wait, I got some more news. It was a 5-minute penalty. He is gone. Game misconduct for knee-to-knee contact. So now we're going to be talking about probably the most watched game / the biggest game of the day, which was Canada versus Latvia. Canada has a super stacked roster, so I think we all know how it was going to go. And it honestly was closer than you would expect, but taking goal for Canada is Sebastian Kosa, Detroit prospect, and taking goal for Latvia is Patrick Burzins. Not sure who he is, but didn't play half bad. So in the first period, Connor Bedard scored the first goal. Love Connor Bedard. If you want to watch any content, make sure to go back. I'll throw some videos at the end. My channel is stacked with Connor Bedard content. But moving on, Latvia scored a goal to tie it 1-1 in the first, and that was it for the first period. Not an action-packed first period, but 1-1, that is way closer than you expect. With this stacked Team Canada roster, seeing them tied 1-1 with Latvia might be getting better, and we might see their first win since 2012 in this tournament. But moving on to the second period, instantly Latvia takes a penalty, a 2-minute penalty. Boom, they take another 2-minute penalty, and that helps Lucas Cormier score a goal to make it 2-1 in this second period. But then Latvia takes another 2-minute penalty, and that's when Olen Zellweger scores a goal to make it 3-1. And then, boom, Riley Gregg, I'm pretty sure that's his name, scores another one to make it 4-1 at the end of the second period. And moving on to the third, Canada takes a penalty, take another penalty, both 2 minutes, and that helps Bogdan Hodas score a goal to make it 4-2. Moving on, Canada takes another penalty, and then they take another penalty, so they took 4 penalties alone in the third. That is not something you love to see from Team Canada, but William Dufour scores a goal to make it 5-2 Canada, and then Latvia gets a penalty, Canada gets a penalty, and that was the end of the game. Ended 5-2 in regulation, and yeah, Sebastian Kosa had a weak game, which you don't like to see being a Detroit prospect, but Patrick Burzins, honestly not the worst possible game ever. But yeah, now we're going to be moving on to the Germany versus Austria game. Like I said early in the video, this game is still going on. Currently it is 1:14 Atlantic Standard Time, which the local time in Alberta, it is right around 11 o'clock. So there's not much going on, but yeah, this isn't going to be a very highly watched or highly cared about game, but I'll go over it anyway. And actually, going back on what I just said, it actually does matter in a big way for one of these teams, because these teams, Austria or Germany, have both not moved on to the quarterfinals, I think, ever in the World Juniors tournament. So whoever wins this could be a big win for that team, and they could move on to the quarterfinals, which is a big accomplishment for these teams who haven't had the greatest past. But I don't see Austria making it this year. I see Germany, which is well suited, because Germany, their program and development has just been phenomenal recently with Mo Sider, Tim Stützle. Like, they're just pumping out prospects left, right, and center. But let's get on to the game. So, in the first period of this game, the goalkeeper for Austria is Sebastian Ranschitz, I guess. And the German goalie is Florian Bugel, which I'm sure that wouldn't be the best choice for them, considering Nikita Kwap had a phenomenal game last night, but they can't play him like every night, obviously, because they're trying to save him for if they do make the quarterfinals. He's just, holy, what a game last night for him. Big guy, phenomenal goalie. But yeah, getting off track here. So 2 minutes in, Germany took a penalty, just a 2 minute, and that helped Austria score their first goal. Actually, wait, yeah. Austria scored their first goal from Senna Peters. Senna Peters scored their first goal, number 17 on Austria, and then just a couple minutes later, Joseph Aim scored to tie it 1-1. And then there wasn't much more in that period, with Austria taking a 2-minute penalty, Germany taking a 2-minute penalty, and yeah, that was the first period. But moving on to the second, Austria scored a goal. Jonas Dubning scored a goal for Austria to make it 2-1. But then, coming right back just a couple minutes later, Alexander Blank scored for Germany to make it tied 2-2. Then Ryan Delmont got a penalty shot, which unfortunately nothing came from it. But yeah, then Austria took a 2-minute penalty, which Alexander Blank, for his second goal, actually scored on while they were on the power play. And then Austria took another penalty, and guess who scored off that? Alexander Blank, making this game what it is, and making this game work tonight, making Germany go up 4-2 late in the third. Then Austria took 2 more penalties for high sticking, and yeah, well, it was actually 1, but it was a double minor for high sticking, and I just saw that a couple minutes ago. It was a pretty nasty high stick, so well deserved. And with 10 minutes left in the third, I think Germany will cap this off at right around 5-2. But excellent game from Alexander Blank, getting his number called a lot, with actually 3 goals and 1 assist this game, 4 points, and Germany's currently up 4-2. So he's really doing his thing on the offensive end and really helping this German team do their thing. Now, if you made it to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, but I'm assuming not many, if any, people will make it to the end of this video. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, share to your friends. Yeah, you already know the vibes. But yeah, I'm sorry because I might stutter a couple times. I'm still trying to get used to talking to a mic, and I just have these little mix-ups in my words sometimes, which screws me up a little, but I'm sure I'll get over it eventually. This was a super long upload, coming to right around 13.5 minutes. That is mind-blowing to me. It felt like I've just been sitting here for a couple talking, but yeah, I doubt anybody made it to the end, and if you did, man, props to you. But I already went over all this stuff. Super long upload today. I'm going to get another one out for sure. But Cider Central signing off. See ya.